I'll be honest with you, I'm not really the biggest James Bond fan. I love Daniel Craig's version of James Bond, but before that, I was just never really into the whole machismo storytelling and plot devices. And at least with Daniel Craig's James Bond films, not only do we get excellent stories, excellent writing for the most part, we also get actual human characters that you can actually sympathize with and you love to watch fail, honestly, and then rise back up. And honestly, I think objectively at this point, everybody's favorite Bond film is Skyfall. So for me, Casino Royale was excellent. Quantum of Solace was okay. It wasn't god awful. It was made well, but it was just an actioneer, just an abysmal plot, and it was just nothing but action and violence through the whole thing. Then we got Skyfall, which was written and directed by Sam Mendes, and Skyfall was excellent. It was basically the Dark Knight of the James Bond films. Literally, they literally ripped some of the Dark Knight's plotting into Skyfall's story. Spectre, I'll be honest again, I kind of just meandered around to never watching Spectre. I I get the synopsis of it though. Now, No Time to Die was written and directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, who created the HBO series True Detective. He also was a co-writer for the first remake It film, Part 1. So, No Time to Die was advertised in very woke ways for no reason whatsoever. So, No Time to Die stars Daniel Craig playing as James Bond like the last 15 years. So you would expect the advertisements to be Daniel Craig going out and promoting his film. Instead, every single advertisement, maybe I missed a couple, but every single advertisement that I've seen before watching No Time to Die, that advertised for No Time to Die, involved just girls that are POCs and they're secondary or tertiary characters. And that's fine, but like I said, every advertisement that I have seen for No Time to Die has not included Daniel Craig advertising it whatsoever. And I don't fault the filmmakers or even the stars for that. I do fault the distributor company, and I believe it's still Sony. I know it's Metro Goldwyn Mayer or whatever that one's called, but yeah, that's really the biggest flaw when it comes to No Time to Die. So No Time to Die as a film for itself is honestly the best that you can expect from a fourth Daniel Craig James Bond outing. And I do mean that very strongly and with a lot of compliments behind it. Daniel Craig delivers an excellent performance as always. Cary Joji Fukunaga's writing and direction is superb. I always love his filmmaking because I am a one-shot filmmaker kind of person. There are scenes in this, like True Detective's fourth episode, where it's a one-shot motion move around, and those sequences aren't nearly as breathtaking as that whole episode, but they do have sequences in that film like that, and they do work for the most part. There are a couple problems within the fluidity of the pacing because of how the writing was made for this film, in the sense of the first act is essentially full-on actioneer with some substance behind it, but mostly it's an action formula. And then the middle act is basically exposition dumps everywhere and throughout the entire act. And then around the end of the middle act through the third act, you get more exposition dumps and more action, just kind of combined in greater detail. And like I said, Daniel Craig delivers an exceptional performance. Everybody delivers good performances. Rami Malek delivers a great performance as the main villain, as does Christoph Waltz when he's in this film. My main problem with the story revolves around the characters, though. Rami Malek's character, his main villain, fleshed out, yes, but I feel like they still could have written more for his character. We got all of the exact big details that we needed for his character. I just still felt like there were some missing parts to his life we could have endured and understood more about why he's doing things that he's doing. And the whole story is basically just another cliche James Bond outing. That's not saying that's bad. It's a little bad, but not entirely. The filmmaking of this film itself is exceptional. The writing is exceptional, albeit Rami Malek's mostly linear character. But the problem that I have is that the storytelling and plot devices are cliche James Bond kind of exposure. And I'm not saying that the next film should be like as woke as they get or anything, but I would appreciate if they do adapt again, add some originality to it. Not just guy goes on mission, drinks a couple martinis with girl acts clumsy, which that's another thing too. The one girl character acts clumsy and everything at first when they first meet, because that's her first mission. She's like that when she's nervous. And then she turns into like big bad espionage killer. Well, the first part of her character just didn't really make sense, because assassins, even no matter how human you are, assassins shouldn't be like that. They would never be hired if they are nervous under just the minor amount of pressure. Maybe that was really just an act for James Bond. That's what it kind of seemed like in the end, but it didn't mesh well for her character. So yeah. Anyway, the storytelling of it, cliche as a James Bond outing gets, but that's still not terrible to say. They still go through the whole motions, like I was saying, go on mission, have a couple martinis with girls help, James Bond kicks ass, and then things happen, goes on vacation, gets summoned back in. And that's also how this starts yet again, I believe a fourth time with Daniel Craig. He's on vacation, stuff happens, he gets back into it. I'm not saying that this is a complete cliche rehash, but it sounds a lot like Skyfall. It really does. At least Skyfall, before the vacation, it actually showed him get wounded and fall into an ocean, and through the credits you were just kind of like, oh man, where's this going? And they ended up on vacation, like always. James Bond really loves vacationing. But the biggest problem that I do have with No Time to Die, the intro credits, Billie Eilish. I don't like her as a singer. I don't like her voice. It sounds way too airy. She has a 2-octave range. Why people glorify her is beyond me. She is a crappy human being. She tries to blame sexism on everything. She literally has gone out on interviews and articles and have said, I think men are weak, and that right there, that alone is sexism. But Billie Eilish as an artist, as a singer, I don't like her. I can't stand her voice. She has no talent, honestly, in my personal opinion. She's a 2-octave range. She doesn't push herself. She whisper sings. The intro credits themselves, outside of her singing and her writing, are done fine. I just wish they had somebody else, like bring back Adele, because I did like her intro credits for Skyfall. Overall, this is a well-made piece of cinema. It's nowhere near the heights of Skyfall, but it's nowhere near the travesty of Quantum of Solace. It's actually a really good film. Cary Joji Fukunaga did a really, really excellent job with No Time to Die. Very excellently written and very well directed. So for me, overall, No Time to Die is an 8 out of 10. Thank you.